So, we all know some companies that are really good at promoting themselves. They just seem to be everywhere. You're always hearing about them. They've got something going on, and they're capturing interest in new clients through their activities. Um, in this quick presentation, we'll have a look at the marketing theme of Promoter and just talk a bit about it. And as always, I like to kind of talk a little bit about real world examples that I'm familiar with. In the video thumbnail, for instance, a couple things that I've been involved in. One was a million years ago in a photo software company I was in. We did a great big contest where it was actually a really fun one to put together. And in a situation where we were spending a lot of money on digital advertising and distribution, we're able to reach out to some partner companies that weren't so hot on that. So one example is Pentax was one of the sponsors. So we actually did a contest to promote our own products and have people enter to be in our own database, but managed to get Pentax to sponsor it with, I think, 6 or 7 cameras, a couple other gear manufacturers as well. And then actually Pentax got excited enough about it that we went back and got a bunch of money from them to extend the advertising even further. So again, just an example where, once again, looking for the win-wins where we were able to invest some time and money to get people to opt into our database, enter the contest, and receive information about our products. We're able to provide value to Pentax, and we're actually able to get this great contest together for the people that did enter, and to provide value to them and some other discounts. And basically everybody liked it, and we got a bunch of new people in the database, and it was a happy story. So that's one example. The other one, again, similar theme here. I like doing contests. I'm not what you'd call a promoter, but have definitely done a bunch of engagements over the years that involve promotion. And I always like contests, as a great way of getting the word out. The key thing is that what the prizes are in the contest have to be super relevant to your offering, or you'll get a bunch of people entering and engaging with you that actually don't care about you, your company, your industry, and are never going to become customers anyhow. I learned that one the hard way. But there's definitely other sort of promotions you can do as well. Jumping a little bit ahead, you might think it's a bit harder in the service industry to do. Well, I'm a service provider, or how do I do a promotion? And I can give you an example of a couple things. One thing is you really don't want to promote on price too much, which I'll talk a bit more about in a second. But I know in our case, in our main agency, Plus ROI, we've had promotional packages when Google has made huge changes. So for instance, when Google switched to mobile first search, we use that as an opportunity to promote making people's websites worthy for being viewed on mobile. Basically went out to the market, shared that this event was happening, and that we're doing a bunch of work around it so that we're able to extend some favorable pricing at that point. So basically offering good prices, but not cheapening our product or our services. Because if you discount with no reason behind it, you're in big trouble. Same thing, we've done that also before if things have been a little bit slow when something significant happens. And in truth, if you're creative, you can always find something significant that's happened that is meaningful to your audience and have a reason for that. So when Core Web Vitals became a factor in search rankings, we went out with an offering around that and promoted it. Occasionally with new service packages, we've got promotions to kick those off. And even sometimes on a smaller scale, when we have new team members, we will solicit some new business as we talk about building our practice and offering some special opportunities while we're building that area and a new team member or area of business. So with that said, let's get into the rest of our short lesson. So first, kind of having a look at what a promoter is. Basically, somebody who follows the promoter theme sees or creates time-sensitive opportunities and presents themselves in a manner that propels action from prospective clients. The time-sensitive part is quite important for 2 reasons. One is that it creates urgency, and the other that it creates focus. Not having some sort of end date or cutoff makes for pretty weak promotion. The promotion then becomes the norm. And really, the big thing is seeing those opportunities where you can propel action. Um, it's really critical not to promote exclusively on price, and I talked about that a little bit already, so I won't go in too deep there. But the other thing is to have a reason when you do actually promote on price. And those reasons might include some of the reasons I mentioned already, might also include a seasonal thing like a holiday, a time of year. If you're an accountant, it might be tax time. Lots of businesses might be tax time. I think in my own case, in service industries like ours, where you're serving businesses, um, January is a big month because businesses are ready to get back to business. They've got their annual plans and they're ready to go. They've got energy and ready to kick off. Same with September. So we've always found, for instance, in our case, September and January to be great months to promote to other businesses. If you're serving consumers, um, gosh, all the different holidays, you can get creative, find reasons why you would have a relevant promo during those time periods. And sometimes awareness promotions, like I was mentioning, contests or getting the word out. Sometimes awareness promotions with a longer term strategy can actually be more effective than sale promotions. And a great example of that is, again, not exactly a service business like a couple of the other examples, but hotel resort that we do work with did an accommodations contest. They did accommodations and activities, and we promoted that contest in their markets and used that. It was basically asking people to sign up for their newsletter and be automatically entered along with that to be in this contest. They got a ton of signups. We did this through social media advertising, by the way. They got an absolute ton of signups, like over 1,000, and very cost effectively. And best of all, because they had a prize that was really relevant to what their business was and was offering, when they sent out the next newsletter with those new people in it, the open rate, or the percentage of people that opened the publication, didn't go down, which I certainly breathed a sigh of relief. And because I expected it to go down at least a little bit, but just again, because of how much context and relevance there was around what was in the prize, they reached that people entered to win. They reached a whole ton of people that were really interested in their property and in the area that they're in. Some essentials around being a strong promoter. First off, again, I've covered the meaningful reasons already, so I won't get too deep into that. There are a couple that I didn't talk on much, like you might have company news or a launch. The supplier incentive is actually a great one. With that, if you can share that one of your suppliers is offering discounts, then it doesn't necessarily risk sort of affecting people's perception of value of your offering. Again, having that reason. Things you want to do include getting really good at public relations, online PR, which is just a little bit different there. Social media, basically ways that you can spread the word of your promotion. You absolutely want to leverage partnerships to extend your reach. So again, if there are companies that are in your market that you might know of, you might even do business with, getting them involved in a promotional partnership so that you can, for instance, get your promotion to their audience, probably in exchange for getting their promotions to your audience. That's a huge way of extending your reach and can make things really a lot more effective without actually costing anything out of pocket. So, an accountant and lawyers might work together. In my case, as a marketing agency, we might work with independent copywriters or people that do work that we don't necessarily do, and lots of opportunities there. It is important to plan in advance. Ideally, and it's kind of funny because since the advent of digital marketing, the idea of an annual marketing plan where you plan all your budgets and your details out to every detail is totally defunct. Like there's no point in doing that because you're going to learn stuff from your digital marketing because it's measurable and you're going to change your plans. That said, you can do things like, of course, people do like content calendars and plan what content they're going to share over time. As well, you might look in advance, sort of a year in advance. Well, what are all the seasonal opportunities, product opportunities? What are all the things that we might do promotions around in the coming year? And then sort of pick which ones to do and then be able to plan around it. Another thing too, with some planning in advance, you can sort of figure out how to sort of fire on all cylinders with these promotions, and knowing in advance you can recruit these partnerships. You can plan an advertising blitz. You can plan on having it incorporated in your website. You can plan on having it in your social media. And one thing I can say without hesitation whatsoever is if you're going to do a promotion, just simply being quiet about it and doing a bit of advertising is ridiculously ineffective compared to kind of going all in and promoting it through all your different channels. Moving right along. Some complementary themes to the promotions. Well, advertising is the biggest single one. I mean, of course, most everything else like networking or being a community leader can be very valuable because you can find those other partners in that. But with being really good at advertising and for promotions, it's usually social and display advertising, but getting really good at that and knowing exactly how to target the people to whom this promotion will resonate the most, super valuable. Some cautions are that if this is done really aggressively, there is an element of risk. You can damage your brand. And again, I've seen countless services, stores, products do this by having sales all the time. Customers are never happy paying full price anymore. Gosh, we use an accounting software package that you would know, but I'm not going to mention them, QuickBooks, that every time we go to log in online, there's some new promotion, some new big discount that we're not eligible for as faithful customers for 15 years. So it's like in that case, it's really annoying and it really damages their brand. On some level, we actually kind of hate them because they always have this promo that we just simply can't access. So stuff like that you have to be really careful of. Also, thought leadership and community leadership. If you're pushing and promoting too aggressively and people perceive you as being pushy and promotional, that can actually damage the trust that goes along with thought leadership and community leadership. So you need to be careful there. I think as sort of quiet Canadians in our company, we're pretty good at that. We never go too aggressively anyhow, but I absolutely have seen this, and you can't sell and build trust simultaneously. So same with promotion, you can't really promote hard and build trust at the same time. So that's where picking the right promotions that won't where you're not pushing too hard, where you're not selling too hard, maybe not always promotions on price. And again, some are okay, some of those are okay, but you just need to be really careful about when you push on price. So yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell. That's sort of promotion. We'll definitely, the promoter theme will definitely get a bit deeper in some more advanced lessons later on, but hopefully that was of value, and we'll see you on the next video.